Hi, everybody. I'm Joe Tessitore alongside Teddy Atlas. Good evening and welcome to the New York City Arena here in Midtown Manhattan for tonight's main event. 12 rounds among light heavyweights between Roy Jones Jr. and Joe Calzaghe. Roy Jones Jr. is on his way to the ring. You can see it in his eyes. You just know he's got that feeling tonight. Joe Calzaghe's making his way down to the ring, and he does so with a confidence where he knows he put all the hard work in, and he's ready to explode inside those ropes.
Remember, guys, obey my commands at all times. Let's have a good, clean fight. Touch him up.
Opening 3 minutes of this scheduled 12-rounder. Well, Teddy, here in this matchup, two guys who tend to go the distance. What do we look for early?
You know, I'm looking to see who can be more consistent in just one area. Who uses their jab a little bit steadier.
Needs to improve that accuracy. Missed with the headshot. Comes right back at him with a left hand. Protecting his head well with his guard. Well-placed counterpunch by Roy Jones.
Don't stay in one circle. Side to side.
Not able to land the headshot. See, the defense pays off as he gets rid of that downstairs. Roy Jones Jr. from Pensacola, Florida, where he grew up. A little bit of a country life out there, and he likes his fighting Gamecocks.
Yes, he does. And, you know, as crazy as this may sound, he says he learned something from them. He watches them fight, and he takes little moves and little tricks. One thing about Roy Jones, he is unorthodox in his approach.
Round comes to an end here. And Teddy, I know you've had a very busy week. You've been training some pro football players this week. There are many parallels to be made between the pro fight game and the pro football game.
Yeah, there are, you know, physical ones and emotional and mental ones. I mean, the physical ones are when I work with some of these behemoths, you know, like offensive linemen. They have to punch out, you know, with their arms. They have to make sure that they get those hands out now. If they raise their elbows, just like a fighter raising his elbow before he throws a jab, they lose the power. So you got to teach them keep those elbows in, punch out without any telegraph, without any loss of power, and also get those hands out at the right distance. If they're a little late, the big guy gets in on them, and now he can control him. And, of course, the mental aspects of it, where they get into those dark rooms we talk about every once in a while, where they have to remember that they have control. They can make the choice. You know, you get in those dark rooms, you start to think that you lose control of the choice, that your opponent's making a choice for you. No, that's not the truth.
Well off the mark by Roy Jones. Needs to improve that accuracy. Missed with the headshot. 90 seconds to go here in this round. Took a shot. Now he gives a left. Well-placed counterpunch by Roy Jones. You've used that description, stubborn, driven, single-minded focusedness for Roy Jones Jr. How much does that point to his success that he's had?
Probably 75% of it, because the physical abilities, a lot of people have comparable physical abilities, sometimes even better than guys that get to a higher place. But mentally, emotionally, character-wise, you have it or you don't have it. He has it.
We come to the end of the round. Joe Tessitore alongside Teddy Atlas. And looking up at these corners, you can see the cutmen obviously getting to work as they do after every round. What makes a great cutman?
Well, he's got to have the right medicines, the right coagulants to stop that. Usually Avitine, thrombin, adrenaline. But the most important thing, Joe, is he has to be calm. He has to be able to identify where that cut is. Maybe there's more than one cut. So you got to be calm enough to see the whole picture, the whole landscape, clean it off, put pressure on it, get that medicine in there, keep your fighter from getting excited. And then you need a fighter who's going to get on his wheels a little bit, give the medicine a chance to work.
He turned defense into offense, comes back with the counterpunch.
And that's exactly what he brings to the game. He makes you miss, he makes you pay, and he makes you think twice about throwing a punch later on.
Good defensive skill. Well, he's throwing it, but just missed. Isn't landing it. Very nice defensive guard there. Wow! Oh, what a big hook to the head by Joe Calzaghe.
Keep your hands up.
Final 10 seconds. Round comes to an end here. An enjoyable night sitting ringside. Joe Tessitore alongside Teddy Atlas. A lot better than our day we spent at the horse track the other day, where we couldn't get any winners, at least I couldn't. But we were talking about the fact that so many parallels to be made between boxing and life boxing and all these other sports we enjoy, like horse racing, of being well-conditioned and working your way up to this one singular moment.
Yeah, well, the trainer obviously has to get the athlete. In this case, athlete happens to be over 1,000 pounds, and that's a horse. You know, at peak condition, he has to look at a calendar just like a trainer does with a fighter, know when the race is, know when the fight is, and not get used up out on the track, or used up, of course, in the gym.
Good job protecting himself. Among some of the athletic exploits that have turned heads by. Oh! Joe Calzaghe stunned and staggered.
All right, come on, guys. Work it out. No holding.
Oh, look at that. You know you need space to punch. He realizes that, so he pushes his opponent. Nice strike after catching one by Roy Jones Jr. Oh, what a great ability to recover. Good block. Halfway through round number 4. Oh boy, that's tough to take. There's a taste of the sweet science. You see the skill he has in counterpunching.
And you know what he's doing is taking his opponent's jab away.
Undoubtedly, the most effective element of his entire arsenal tonight is his jab. He's so committed to fighting on the outside, and he's jabbing away beautifully.
Well, Cus D'Amato used to tell me, Teddy, when you're in doubt, jab. Well, this fighter, when he's been in doubt, he's jab. When he's been sure of himself, he's jab. As you said, he's made...
Wow! Roy Jones Jr.'s in a bad place right now. He was tagged. Boy, he is shaky right there. He is on shaky ground in the ring right now. End of the round there. He was able to stun his opponent. Teddy, when you're training a guy that's coming off a round where he just got to his man, what do you do? Do you say, hey, I saw that, and here's how you did it? How do you approach that?
Well, you want to make sure you remind him exactly what you're talking about, how he set it up. Don't think about just a big punch that landed. Remember how you got to that point.
You need to cover up more, okay? You're leaving yourself open too much. Cover up. You're doing fine. He's just beating you to the punch, that's all. You need to...
Back to fight action as a new round is underway. Of course, in that last round, it was fairly one-sided. He was hit pretty hard, and now he has to overcome that here.
Yeah, you don't have to be Nostradamus to know that. I mean, everybody saw, you know, he got staggered, his knees buckled, did a little dance there. But what you have to really know now is know why you got hit and correct that immediately.
Dismisses his opponent's headshot. Got to try to do better than that. He missed with that hook. It is unbelievable to sit back and just watch what these guys are willing to give and to take. Wow, what a fight so far.
Well, give and take, that's the key word. Sometimes you're forced to become great. And right now, each one of them are forcing the other to go to great places.
Halfway into round number 5 here. See, he's got his guard up really well that time, and it protects his head. Nice job to land that counter punch and getting away from one of his own by Roy Jones. Oh, that's gotta hurt. Roy Jones Jr.'s been stunned. Oh, look at that. You know you need space to punch. He realizes that, so he pushes his opponent. Good defense upstairs to stay away from that offensive assault. Coming to the end of round number 5, last 10 seconds. The end of the round has arrived. And now an opportunity for the trainer here to get his hands on his guy. His guy just got tagged pretty good there. And when he looks into his eyes, what is he looking for?
Oh, first of all, he's looking to see whether or not his guy is still there. You know, he got stunned pretty good. And then what he has to do is make sure his guy's listening to him and telling him, hey, look, you got caught. You've been caught before. This is the way we can fix it. This is what you got to do to correct things.
So here we are, a new round underway, and in that last round, he got tagged. He got hit pretty hard, Teddy.
Yeah, he did. He got caught. Now, the first thing is, we all know he got caught, but why did he get caught? He has to be able to decipher that in his head. He has to be able to have the answer to that so it doesn't happen again.
And a smart counterpunch by Roy Jones. Well-placed counterpunch by Roy Jones. How about a return to sender with the left hand? Teddy, is this becoming a mental thing with him? I mean, he's not firing off the big power punches. I got to wonder why.
You know, that's a good question. Sometimes the guy is making a silent agreement in his mind that maybe if I don't hit him hard, he won't hit me hard back. He's not confident enough now to throw the punches without worrying about what will come back at him.
That uppercut. Roy Jones Jr. is a pro, but he's not a well-rounded pro because a better level of fighter would be committing to the body more here, wouldn't he, Teddy?
Yeah, well, first of all, he would recognize that that's where he's supposed to be going now that
Oh, and there you go. Roy Jones Jr. is in a bad place right now. He was tagged. And as this round comes to an end, Teddy, you just get the sense that at any point this fight could come to an end because it is being fought with bad intentions.
Yes, these guys are not behaving like guys that are coming here thinking about going to the scorecards. They're letting everything go in every punch.
Carry it away and you catch him. You got that? It's going to happen. You're going to catch it. You're going to catch it. Listen, you need to make your punches up. Throw more punches to
And we are underway for what is the second half of this fight. Who knows what we're in store for? Smart counterpunch by Roy Jones. Halfway through the 7th round. Roy Jones Jr.'s inability to connect is really concerning me right now. I don't think he's been able to get a thing done since he got tagged earlier in this fight.
Well, one thing that you got to worry about a little bit is whether or not the referee starts seeing that. That's one thing for you and me to see it. If the referee starts looking at him like, you know, he's not behaving right, he might start to move in there a little bit to stop this fight. He's got to get something going.
So swiftly able to turn defense into offense. Nice counterpunch.
And what you're noticing here is his opponent is starting to be a little wary of letting his jab go, because every time he jabs, he gets caught.
This is great stuff. I mean, great stuff. Bringing it every which way they are.
So you remember the time you were on a vacation, you saw that perfect sunset?
Oh, yeah.
It was just beautiful. This is beautiful.
We come to the end of the round. A round that I'm having a tough time trying to think about who won. I can only imagine what the judges are thinking about. Teddy, if there's one thing you look for in a round like that and say, okay, I'm going to give it to this guy over this guy, what is it?
Well, the first thing is, if I'm a judge, I take a little notepad and I make a little mark down, blue or red corner, what he did early. Because sometimes a judge has a tendency to forget what was done early and only go with what went late.
whenever he misses, come on. Let's get on that swelling. Get on the swelling.
Boy, it looks like he's at good strength, ready to go. Good-looking counterpunch. Teddy, I know you swear by it, and we're seeing it right in front of us. Good fighter, likes to fight on the outside, who's having a stellar night with that jab.
Hey, look, if you're going to be an accountant, you better know math. You better know how to add. You're going to be a good fighter, as far as I'm concerned. You better have a good jab.
Took a shot, now he gives a left. Able to counter that attack.
Keep your hands up. Keep moving. Keep moving.
There it is! Roy Jones Jr.'s almost out of it there. He was stunned.
Come on now, work it out.
He was damaged moments ago, but now he's got his feet back under him. 1 minute to go in a round that feels like an all-time classic. Punch for punch, they're meeting each other. Parries that punch away. Able to cover up along the belt line, blocks that one. And we come to the end of the round, and he really got to his opponent that time, Teddy. He stunned him.
He stunned him. He's hearing a little tweeting going on, a little singing from the birds in his head.
Keep your hands up, all right? You have to keep your hands up. Looking good, looking good. All right, keep your hands up, all right? All right, you're doing fine.
As another round gets underway, it gets us thinking, oh, that's gotta hurt. Roy Jones Jr. stunned, and he is hurt. Gets rid of that. It was intended for his head. He was stunned, but now he's surviving. Oh, and there you go. Roy Jones Jr.'s hit by that counter shot. On the mark, the counter punch by Roy Jones. Well, here's the way we see it. He's down on the scorecards, has to have the knockout to win it.
Yeah, and he has to understand that. You know, the main thing is he hasn't given in. You know, he's still there trying, but he's in a desperate place. So what he has to do now is look for one spot. He remembers maybe something he saw early in the night where the guy pulls out his hand down a little bit, and maybe he can time him stepping out.
Reaching the halfway mark of this round. Wow! Joe Calzaghe stunned and staggered. I don't know what was said to him in the corner, but now he's the busier man.
Yeah, he's aware that he has to be.
Lands the counter. Able to counter that attack. Well-placed counter punch by Roy Jones. Well, as that round comes to an end, it gives us a moment to kind of reflect on this overall fight. And Teddy, my thoughts are pretty clear-cut. This is the kind of fight that just takes on a personality of its own. This is an all-out war.
Yeah, this is kind of like watching a guy who's not on a budget. You know, he's spending with both hands. You know, when he goes home, he's going to have no money in his pockets. And when this fight is over, these guys are going to have nothing left in the gas tank, and it's probably not going to a decision.
I'm not going to stand here and put those shots. You understand me? Let's see some defense and more punches.
They start up again. Back to action here with another round. But who knows how much longer it'll last. This has been a completely one-sided fight. So swiftly able to turn defense into offense. Nice counterpunch.
And what you're noticing here is his opponent is starting to be a little wary of letting his jab go, because every time he jabs, he gets caught.
Throws a counterpunch there. Oh, look at that. They exchange hooks. There it is. Roy Jones Jr.'s almost out of it there. He was stunned. Went to the body there, but unable to connect. Tried to land that upstairs and was off the mark. He throws a big, wide punch and he throws a big, wide punch and leaves himself wide open.
Well, it's like leaving your window open in your house in the middle of winter. You know, a lot of cold air is going to come in. Guess what? Some hooks are coming in soon.
A minute to go in what has been 2 minutes of sensational action. Neither man coming off stride. Blocks the headshot. And now they're trading blows. There's the headshot, but he parries it away. End of the round there. He was able to stun his opponent. Teddy, when you're training a guy that's coming off a round where he just got to his man, what do you do? Do you say, hey, I saw that, and here's how you did it? How do you approach that?
Well, you want to make sure you remind them exactly what you're talking about, how he set it up. Don't think about just the big punch that landed. Remember how you got to that point.
Circle. Don't stand in front of him. Let's get on that sweat. Get the compress on that.
They are back to action here, but that action has only favored one man. Completely one-sided. It's hard to see the scorecards coming into play here with how dominating he's been. Roy Jones Jr.'s punch stats are really telling a story here right now. I noticed that they've been dropping ever since he got stunned earlier in this fight.
Yeah, you know, anybody could keep their punch numbers up when everything is normal. But when you've been stunned, and it's not just stunned, I think physically he's overcome it, but he's been intimidated a little bit. Now is the real testing of the fighter. He's got to put that aside and perform the way he came here to perform.
Very nice defensive guard there. Oh, that's gotta hurt. Roy Jones Jr.'s almost out of it there. He was stunned. Teddy, he may go down. He lands the hook, and now he lands on the ground.
Put your hands, kid.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Roy Jones Jr. hitting the deck but rising up.
Well, when you drop your hands, you pull back, you do all those things, sooner or later there's a chance you're going to hit the deck. Now it's up to Jones to find a way to survive.
Joe Calzaghe's got to deal with a cut on his cheek right now. The good news is it's below the eye, but still it can get nasty as the fight progresses. Protecting his head well with his guard. Well-placed counterpunch by Roy Jones. comes to an end. We saw the knockdown there in that round, a little bit of a momentum gainer.
Yeah, obviously it gives you confidence, but you know what? It can also be a momentum killer, believe it or not.
How so?
Joe, I've had guys where the worst thing that happened to them in a fight was when they scored the knockdown because they thought it was just going to keep happening. And they thought about only the punch they landed, not how they set it up. So they got away from the game plan.
Focus. You have to focus. We'll take care of the swelling. Just focus on the fight, and we'll take care of the swelling.
He's got to find a way to get through the early goings here of this round. Remember last round, he went down. He was on the canvas.
Now, look, he wants to tie his opponent up. That's the best way to get through it right now. But what he doesn't want to do, Joe, is to reach in there, reach out to grab his guy, and then he leaves himself open. He's got to make sure that his opponent's close enough where he goes to grab him, he's not exposing himself to get dropped again.
Missed the target with that hook. Roy Jones Jr.'s got to prove a few things here. Number one, he's got to prove to his opponent that he's on good ground after being knocked down in the last round. But he's also got to prove it to the referee, too.
Yeah, he does. And his corner. Because his corner, I just noticed, they put that towel over their shoulder. So they know the condition their fighter's in. They know their responsibility, and they're ready to act on it.
Able to show you his blocking ability. Wow, just sit back and enjoy this one. You can tell both guys are so determined to give everything they have here tonight.
So it's like the first time you heard Ray Charles sing God Bless America. You knew it was special. You knew you hadn't heard it before. I haven't seen anything like this before.
So swiftly able to turn defense into offense. Nice counter punch.
And what you're noticing here is his opponent is starting to be a little wary of letting his jab go because every time he jabs, he gets caught.
Good looking counter punch. Here's one for you now, he says. Right back with the left hand. Well, that wraps it up. Now, let's send it up to our ring announcer for the decision. Calzaghe's your winner by a unanimous